acquired 42 books in the past week. Now, the majority of these books were Christmas gifts from friends and family, and I am so thankful for that. And then I did some after Christmas shopping and bought more. But every time I buy a new book, it's really just an investment towards my YouTube channel. Be sure to stay till the end so you can see what special edition books I received. I received mostly romance and fantasy books with a couple of other genres sprinkled in there, but without further ado, I'll get started. Alright, the first books I received were the Renegades trilogy by Marissa Meyer. This is a YA fantasy series about superheroes, but our main character Nova's allegiance is to a villain. I've heard a lot of great things about Marissa Meyer's books, but I haven't read any yet, so hopefully I like these. Now the next series I'm going to talk about is a romance series, and it is the Dirty Air series by Lauren Asher. These covers are so pretty. The Dirty Air series is a series of interconnected standalones about F1 drivers. I'm interested in reading about race car drivers because I live near so many race car tracks and they are always so loud. That being said, I've never really been a racing fan, but I feel like if anyone can make me a racing fan, it's gonna be Lauren Asher. I've just wanted to read these books for the longest time and now I finally can. Alright, the next book is a YA fantasy romance, and it is Defend the Dawn by Brigid Kemmerer. This is the second book to Defy the Night, and I just absolutely love that book that I had to get this one to continue on with the series. Defy the Night is an enemies to lovers book that features a prince and an outlaw. And if you haven't seen it already, I read it in this video. Alright, the next book is a romance book, and it is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I've seen all the romance girlies read this recently, and they have influenced me. So it appears our two main characters have a date, and then after their fun night together, they decide that they're just going to be friends, but that doesn't go according to plan. Alright, the next two books are the Shepherd King duology of One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. This is a fantasy duology that I keep seeing places. This appears to be a very dark fantasy that talks about monsters being in heads, and captains of the most dangerous men, and treason, and the king's nephew, and dark magic. Is there anything more fun? Alright, moving on to something much lighter. I got the Taylor Swift Little Golden book. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious what this book is about, but if you need like a little short book to add to your TBR, I recommend. I've read it, it's great. Alright, the next book I'm going to talk about is Call It What You Want by Alyssa D. So Call It What You Want was my surprise song when I went to the Eras tour, and this cover is just so cute. Okay, so it appears that our two main characters, Sloane and Ethan, are very guarded, and they start to date but without any labels because they know it won't last. Now, I haven't read this yet, but I suspect that it does last. I also feel like I've seen a quote or two about this on Instagram Reels that made me go, oh my gosh, wait, I'm swooning, I need to read this. But I honestly can't remember. Alright, the next book is The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. The book itself is absolutely gorgeous under the dust jacket. Oh, okay, so it appears the main character is the adopted human daughter of the night-born vampire king. So I guess she has to try to win a tournament to prove herself to everybody. And this appears to be an enemies to lovers romance. I just heard a lot of great things about this book over the summer and decided I wanted it. The next book is a YA mystery, and it is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. So this appears to be a dark academia book where a first-year student solves a cold case that happened at her school. It's kind of giving a Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but dark academia. It looks really fun, and it's giving me like Wednesday vibes, so I'm really excited to read this. Alright, I think this next book is a standalone fantasy, and it is Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young. I haven't seen too many people talk about this book, but I looked up fantasy standalone books, and this popped up and it had good ratings, so I asked for it. So it appears the love interest of our main character allegedly killed our main character's best friend. I suppose that didn't really happen, and our main character is trying to figure out what actually happened on an island that has folklore and magic. This book just seems really good, and I'm really excited to read it. The next two books are by the same author. I have Ruthless Vows and A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. Now, I read Divine Rivals, which is the first book in this duology, and absolutely loved it. It was just so comforting, even though I don't think it's supposed to be comforting. The book felt like a warm hug, so of course I had to get the second book. Now, this is the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition with the black cover instead of the white cover, and it has this under the dust jacket. I personally like the black cover more than the white cover. Divine Rivals is a rivals to lovers fantasy romance. It takes place in a magical world where there is war. Our two main characters are journalists writing about the war. Now with A River Enchanted, I've heard so many good things about this and it was by the same author, so I of course wanted it. It appears some girls go missing and only one person can find them, and this takes place in another magical world. The next book is Blindside by Candy Steiner. Now this is a football romance between a football player and a public relations coordinator. The two fake date, so the PR coordinator gets noticed by her crush, and so the football player makes his ex jealous. It's filled with all the fun tropes, can't wait. The next 3 books are part of the Entangled with Fae series by Tessanja Odette. I have Kiss of the Selkie, A Taste of Poison, and A Dream So Wicked. This is a Fae retelling of The Little Mermaid. This is a Fae retelling of Snow White. And this one is a Fae retelling of Sleeping Beauty. I recently read Heart of the Raven Prince, which is the Cinderella retelling, and absolutely adored it, so I can't wait to keep reading in this series. The next book is Wildfire by Hannah Grace. This is an interconnected standalone to Icebreaker, which is a hockey romance that I really enjoyed. It appears our two main characters have a risque night together. And then days later, they run into each other at their jobs, where they are camp counselors, and there is no staff fraternizing. This already sounds like so much fun. I can't wait. The next book I have is Of Stormlarks and Silence by Constance Lopez. This book is about a girl whose family was murdered by the king. She works her way into a position in the palace so that she can get close to the prince, and then she's gonna kill the prince and then secure some magic and make the king suffer. This is another book I haven't seen too many people talk about, but it seems like a lot of fun, so I'm gonna give it a shot. The next 2 books I'm gonna show you are King of Pride and King of Greed. These are books 2 and 3 of the King of Sen series, which is a series of interconnected standalones by Anna Huang. I read King of Wrath and I really enjoyed it, and from what I know about these books, it's just more rich people doing shady stuff. But with love. She's his opposite in every way and the greatest temptation he's ever known. He had her, he lost her, and he'll do anything to win her back. Oh, I love these. Alright, the next series I have is the Hunger Games trilogy. In November, I saw The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and my life is forever changed. I then rewatched all of the Hunger Games series only to come home and read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and then go see the movie again. Now, I've never read these books, but I have watched the movies and I enjoyed the movies, so I thought might as well go back to the books. And let me know if you want to see a Hunger Games reading vlog. That really goes for all the books in this video. Let me know which books you want to see in reading vlogs. The next book I have is Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer. They are kissing on the cover. Oh my goodness. He is an NHL goalie with a no dating rule. But the gorgeous songbird I had a crush on in high school is now my assistant and roommate. I forgot what this book was about. I'm working for the hot, grumpy goalie I've had a crush on for years, and he doesn't even remember me. So from what I understand, they both think the other person doesn't even remember them. I am so excited for this. I mean, this is right up my alley. Alright, the next 2 books I'm going to talk about are An Ember in the Ashes and A Torch Against the Night. These are the first 2 books in a fantasy series that has amazing reviews. It appears Leia is a slave and Elias is a soldier. Neither is free. So Leia's brother is arrested for treason. So in exchange for help from rebels who promise to rescue her brother, Leia becomes a spy for them in the Empire's greatest military academy. This series has really good reviews, so hopefully it lives up to the hype. The next book I got this week is Darling Venom by Parker S. Huntington. So it appears this book is about 2 people that were planning on ending their lives on Valentine's Day by jumping off of a roof. So the 2 decide to not do that and meet up every Valentine's Day to check on each other on that same roof. And the front of this book says, "My first love ended in tragedy. My second began with his brother." Okay. Moving on, I got Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. This has the black sprayed edges, and it is the second book to Fourth Wing. I mean, Fourth Wing was the most popular book of 2023. Of course I read it. And I really liked it, but not as many people have been liking Iron Flame. I think Fourth Wing was just so hyped up and so well loved that people are just being let down by Iron Flame, but I just hope I'm not one of those people. I don't know. I'm still going to read this and I'm still going to go in with an open mind. Okay guys, now it is time for me to show you the most beautiful books I own. These books are limited edition that I begged and begged and begged my mom for in June, and they are the Illumicrate Bridgerton series. The spines of each book make up the Bridgerton mansion when put together, and each book has a foil design with sprayed edges. So here is The Duke and I, The Viscount Who Loved Me, An Offer from a Gentleman, Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, To Sir Philip with Love, When He Was Wicked, It's in His Kiss, and On the Way to the Wedding. So these books have been adapted into a show on Netflix that is absolutely incredible. I love the Bridgerton series. So when I saw Illumicrate was selling these books, I just wanted them so badly, and I'm so happy that I have them. These are romance books set in the Regency era following the Bridgerton family. And of course the Bridgertons are very wealthy. Anyway, that's all the books I have to show you today. Please comment which books you want to see in reading vlogs and I will be sure to make them. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like, comment, and subscribe, I would very much appreciate it. And I will see you so soon, besties. Bye bye!